Hello, everyone. Today, we are doing a little experiment. You're probably already seeing what we're doing. So we're working with ChatGPT, and today I want to talk about how to fail at business and destroy everything. Because it's sometimes easier to think what to avoid, and well, another thing also I'll tell you that at the end. But let's see, since I've run multiple businesses, some succeeded, some didn't. That's the game, but so I know what would be right and wrong. But let's see what ChatGPT says. How to fail at a uh, so oh yeah, this is interesting. There you go. So let's go through it point by point. Neglect market research. Ignore the needs and preferences of your target market. This I see this so often. People are afraid to exclude certain type of groups. Someone who's making marketing for everyone is making marketing for nobody. The more specific you become, the better you become. And who's getting paid more? This is a simple example. Someone who is a doctor, a normal doctor that you go for a cold, or a brain surgeon? The brain surgeon, because he has a specific skill set that he can monetize, that he can work, that not many people can do, and then he gets paid more. So, and if you become a brain surgeon, for example, or a shoulder surgeon for pro athletes, because it's really an athlete, if they have an injury, broken bone, or whatever, they want to do sports again, it takes a certain skill set because they need to be able to do sports quicker than the average person, probably, or they have more money to invest. So this is really good. Poor financial management is also interesting because many people neglect businesses. You need to start your businesses as cheap as possible. Because if you can start a business with €0, if you tell me a business idea and you say, I need $100,000 to start it, I tell it, do it with zero. And then if you don't have the money, and if also what I hear often, oh, I can't start a business because I need money. You don't. In today's day and age, you don't. Even back then, you wouldn't need it. Like 50 years ago, it probably was hard to find something. But for example, if you want to do sales to make your first money, you don't need any products because the company has the products. And if you want to become an entrepreneur, you can do deals. Like, for example, if somebody needs a plumber and you know someone who is a plumber, and you say, hey, he needs it, and you get a small commission of that. You don't need to do anything of that. And I can only urge you to start a business from scratch, because what will happen, and I've seen it so many times, people are used to spend money all the time and keep the business alive, but they actually don't really get the business profitable. And once you start with zero money, you can reinvest the money, and then it becomes an upward spiral. Lack of planning is also something, because they just, yeah, I'll do whatever it wants. Starting is always good, but you need a certain direction, and planning can go in both ways. Um, there's a saying, many people have all their achievements in Tomorrowland, and that's where they live because tomorrow they're going to do it or whatever, or they plan every detail. Everybody has a plan until they get hit in the face. I think Mike Tyson or someone said it, and that's basically the thing. You should know the basics of it and the plan, and then work from there on, and then each step at a time. Because you could make a plan how to make $1 million, but it won't work. I can guarantee it, because there are so many factors that you just don't have any any saying in it. Distributors won't work, payment servers go down, or whatever, stuff like that. um, all those kind of headaches, staff problems, and stuff like that. Inefficient marketing goes like kind of with marketing research, and assume that customers will find you without any effort on your path. Be like, okay, I have something, and then just people will come to me, or word of mouth. If you have a product that is helping people, you need to advertise it. Otherwise, you're a selfish, evil person. And just remember that if you read 5 books about golfing, you're probably better than 99% of all people doing golf, or 90%. And so you don't need to be 10 steps ahead, but if you know 2 or 3 steps more than your client or someone who you're selling to or you're working with, that's already magic for them. You don't need to have all the steps figured out. If uh, if let's say golfing, for example, you give golf courses or whatever, and I can show you how, just with one twist, like how to uh, do the driver, hold it better, or something like that, or your posture sometimes. Golf is a really complex sport because you have to have your posture, like your body, in a certain way. Uh, you might uh, make better tournaments, play better tournaments, and stuff like that. So small things can make a big impact, and it'll be magic for the other person. And ignore the online presence. This is, in today's day and age, you need to be online. It's so important. The next thing is neglect customer service. So many people, especially in sales, they like just get a customer and then don't care. They're like, oh, I sold to him. But the most expensive part is acquiring a customer. And then it's way easier to sell them other products or different services or ask for recommendations. Because let's say it takes you $100 to, or in money wise, it's easier. It takes you $100 because you're doing advertisement to acquire a customer, and you sell them a product for $1,000. Let's say, just to keep it easy, you make $900 profit. Everything after that, if you sell them another product just for $100, you made an extra $100 on the already $900 you made. And it's also, once people purchase from you, it's really interesting because it's way easier for them to purchase again because they already did it. So there's a huge potential in upsell, and you can ask them, hey, what is your next hurdle? Many people do lead generation agencies at the moment, like generating leads for people. And then once the customer gets a lot of leads, they might have a certain threshold that they say, well, I get so many leads, but I don't know how to close them. Okay, I can help you with that. It'll be, I don't know, another $2,000. Oh yeah, and now we have so many leads. I don't get them all on a phone call. I probably need to do an email sequence. Yeah, I can set that up for you. Perfect. And then you upsell them, and then the next problem is, oh, I don't have enough staff. Oh, I can get you leads, especially for staff. Oh, I don't know how to the interviews. So after you solve a problem, there's the next one, and the more you find out, the better it becomes. And then you build really, really long-lasting customer relationships. So that is really important. And then yeah, retaining customers is also. Um, and if somebody cancels, also ask them why they did it. Ask for feedback. If one person tells you a negative thing, like about your sales process or whatever, like a negative feedback, probably at least 10 other people had the same experience but didn't tell you. So keep that in mind. Ignore technology and innovation. This is really, really important too. In the day and age of AI, social media, and stuff like that, I wouldn't do a whole business on ChatGPT, but you can see it'll just generate ideas, and then I can go on from that. And many people just don't adapt to the new technologies. Like, for example, when the internet came out, I remember it. People like, I don't need a website. They had yellow pages, like books where businesses could do advertisement on, and that they pay crazy amount of money. You can track it, and everybody was on the internet and doing homepages. And there's still a fraction of people having a good online presence. You might think everybody has already one. That's just because you're seeing the tip of the iceberg. And ignore opportunities and innovation improvements too. Setting up an email sequence, getting a better onboarding for your clients, those are all the things. Overexpand too quickly is a thing that is too, and you see here, I made extra video of that, like the basics. People sometimes they hit a home run and they grow really, really, really fast, but they can't pull the company behind them, lack of staff, processes, and it becomes really messy. This can actually ruin a whole company. It can really fall apart. There have been companies that were worth billions, millions and billions of dollars. They just totally vanished because they couldn't keep up with the high rise with like servers, staff. The most important thing is staff, because a server, you can just rent a new server and you get more traffic. The thing with staff is it'll take at least, I'd say, 6 months to 1 year to, if you have someone in a new position, that he really knows what to do in that position and he becomes a full entity, a full wheel in the company. Um, that is the thing too. And if you have a lot of people staying a few months and then leaving, you start over again. So that is really a thing too. And then assume that bigger is always better. Open multiple locations and scale operations rapidly without proper planning. This might be something too if you have locations or starting multiple businesses. What I see often is once some people get good at a certain, I don't know, maybe at ecom, they think, oh, I can walk on water. I'm like Jesus because I figured it out. I'm going to start this next business and then become better at that. That's just not how it works. Stick with one business, master it. And once you have money, you can hire someone who takes care of the day-to-day business of your business. If you make like, I don't know, 100K per month or $1 million a year, and then you can do another projects, but you wouldn't start it from scratch. You probably would have someone who's already good at that, maybe give him some money and then your knowledge in that certain space. If I wanted to start, I'm really good at sales. If I wanted to start a business, for example, next to mine, I'd hire someone who would take care of all the business or all the sales process, so I don't have to do the sales by myself. I had a sales team, a head of sales, and a CEO. And then if there's another company that has a cool product, um, and that's already making money, I can just give them my knowledge and be like, okay, if you want to build a sales team, you need this, and then just invest the money or the knowledge. And it's way easier than just building it from scratch. But my main cash flow business is just keeping on printing. Hiring inefficiency. Don't invest time in hiring people. That is what we talked on previously. Hiring the wrong people, toxic people, or they don't fit the description, and overlook the importance of skilled and motivated team. You're just like really pushing them to the limit, burnout and stuff like that, working 60 hours. There can be periods of the company maybe where they have to work more, but it shouldn't be the standard, because you think you're getting more hours and then making more money, but after 2 years, the people are leaving because they didn't see their friends or wife. Fail to adapt. This is kind of like this point too, but also adapt in day and age of hiring and industry trends. Yeah, it's kind of repeating, but yeah, failing to adapt. And legal and ethical issue. This can happen also, taxes and stuff like that. This is really, really important that you don't make, it happens a lot. People make a lot of money and then they get a tax return and then they don't have the liquidity because they reinvested it or someone canceled or stuff like that. So this is really, really important to keep in mind. So these are the points that you just need to look through. And then if you avoid those, you will succeed. I can guarantee it to you. Because you don't really, well, it's good to look what people are doing, but what is way more important is what are people doing that going out of business, because sometimes people really can't explain why they become successful, because it's not one thing that happens, but usually if people fail, it is a certain thing that happens, a mistake that they made that crashed everything. So that is just to keep in mind. Links are down in the description. I have a lot of services. I have the Money Accelerator course where I put all my knowledge in. Book a coaching call. I have done for you services where I basically build you a whole business, and everything with that is further to go. See you soon.